What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to stay at daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and turn the notification bell on if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video, especially over the next 10 days or so, because I'm on vacation and right now I'm putting out the 10 greatest Ravens of all time video series. And this is not just a 10 greatest Ravens players of all time. This includes non-players, so coaches, management, that type of thing. They can all be included in this list. And so daily for the next 10 days, this is obviously player number 9. So for the next, 9 or 8 days, I will have a video out going over the next greatest player. And if your player didn't make the cut or if you disagree, let me know in the comment section down below. It's completely okay. These are all my opinions, but obviously I think my opinion is correct, but it's all good. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Let me know if you're enjoying the series and who you predict will be number 8 tomorrow. But at number 9 of the greatest Ravens of all time, we have Jamal Lewis. Now, getting into it, the Ravens drafted Jamal Lewis number 5 overall in 2000, and he had instant success with the Ravens. Obviously, he won the Super Bowl that year, but in that rookie year, he rushed for 1,364 yards. And in his second season, he was injured in 2001, but in his second season, he rushed for 1,327 yards, which, if you look at those, especially by today's standards, you'd be like, holy cow, that's ridiculous, but that was still pretty good back in the early 2000s for a rookie running back. And those were pretty good, I got to say, but it's the third season of Jamal Lewis's career that stands out. One of the greatest rushing seasons the NFL has ever seen. In 2003, Jamal Lewis rushed for 2,066 yards and 14 touchdowns. He is one of only 8 players to ever rush for 2,000 yards in a single season. And the 2,066 yards that he rushed for at that time was the second most in a single season in history. Now, Adrian Peterson went on to break that, and now Jamal Lewis sits third on that list. But I would still say that third is a pretty darn good spot to be. That season was absolutely phenomenal. He was obviously the offensive player of the year. He was obviously a first-team All-Pro. He was obviously a Pro Bowler. Absolutely unbelievable what he was able to do in that season. And that season isn't even the craziest part of what happened that year. He had maybe the greatest rushing game of all time. 1 yard may separate it from the greatest. I don't know. You can be the judge for yourself. But on September the 14th, 2003, Jamal Lewis rushed the ball 30 times against the Cleveland Browns and had a record 295 yards. Also had 2 touchdowns. That was easily the record at that time. Now, Adrian Peterson went on to have a 296-yard game, which unfortunately beat the record by 1 yard. But I'm a Ravens fan. I'm going to say that's the greatest rushing game of all time. The Ravens beat the Browns 33-13 in that game. Jamal Lewis, he ended up making the all-time, the NFL Hall of Fame 2000s all-decade team. He made that roster, which is a big feat, especially because he was only a Pro Bowler / All-Pro one time in his career. That was 2003. But he didn't have the longest career with the Ravens. He didn't, but he made every single season count. And he was a massive, massive piece in the 2000-2001 Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl run. He had 4 touchdowns that postseason. He had 2 in the wild card round against the Denver Broncos. He had 1 in the Super Bowl, and he had 1 against the Tennessee Titans. Jamal Lewis was the exact prototypical running back that you think of when you hear Ravens football. He wasn't, he's not going to be some crazy flashy guy. He's going to be a bruiser that gets yards and churns the clock. Because if you think about what the Baltimore Ravens do, what is it? They run the football and they play defense. Okay? Heck, that's still even true today. It's a little bit different today. but they still run the ball and play defense. And if you want to be a team that runs the ball and plays defense, you have to have a running back that is able to grind out the game, get a couple extra yards on every play. Just go out there, fight at every single snap. Because if you're able to hold the ball for a long enough period of time and get enough yards to kick a couple of field goals, maybe score 1 or 2 touchdowns, and you've got a defense like the Ravens are designed to have and seemingly almost always have had, especially when you had Ray Lewis back then, you're going to win football games. And that's what Jamal Lewis did. That was the Ravens running back that everybody should think of when they think of what would be the prototypical Ravens running back. It's Jamal Lewis. There's some other great Ravens running backs, Ray Rice, and, I want to say it's kind of just Ray Rice, but, also there's a couple other guys that are okay. Hopefully J.K. Dobbins gets there, but Jamal Lewis is the greatest Ravens running back of all time, and he is the 9th greatest Baltimore Raven of all time. Let me know what you think about that selection. Let me know who you predict is going to be number 8. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content and subscribe for this series. And I'll see all of you again tomorrow with number 8 on the list.